All right, Shalom. To start this lesson, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to our elders apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and push out 100% truth and truth and sincerity. And Shalom to the old for Lex, across the phone wins, while willing this lesson be edifying. And the title of this lesson is going to be Suffering is Part of This Walk, or going through it. Oh yeah, suffering is part of this walk. You know, we know what comes with this truth, man. You know what comes with coming to serve the Lord. You know, which I have that Sirach 2 queued up. You know, Sirach 2:1, it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself in temptation." It means you're going to go through things. You know, if it was easy, everybody would have did it. You know, but not everybody's doing it. You know, throughout the Yahbashim Shai, we're putting that spirit on us to do the work. And, you know, something we say down here in GMS Miami, the Lord make us do it, and we love to do it. We love to do the work. We love to serve the Lord. Once again, Sirach 2:1 says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation." So that's giving you a warning. That's letting you know what you're signing yourself up for. When you come to serve the Lord, you're going to go through certain things. Certain things are going to happen. You're going to get put in certain situations. But the mindset and mentality that we should have, verse 2 says, "Set thy heart aright," which the heart is the lob, which means the mind. So set your mind aright and constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble. So if it says constantly endure, that means in this truth of ours, we're going to constantly go through things. Things are going to happen. Things are going to arise. But our mindset should be to constantly endure. You know, to keep fighting, to keep pushing, to keep going. You know, because there's a reward behind the sacrifices. There's a reward behind the things that we're going through, man. Our mindset is to keep going, because ultimately, what do we want? We want salvation. And it says, "Make not haste in the time of trouble." You know, Proverbs 3. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding." You know, you moving in haste is you leaning into your own understanding. That's you trying to cook up your own plan to get you out of your situation. You know, or trying to do anything that you can to get you out that situation. That's you moving in haste. It's like, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." The 6th verse. You know, acknowledge the Lord, and he's going to direct your path. Which, hey, we acknowledge Yahbashim Yahshai, and the Lord is directing our paths. The Lord is keeping us. Verse 3, it says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." So we're supposed to cleave unto the Lord, how you may be increased at thy last end. Verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou return to a lower state." So whatsoever comes your way, which I know is easier said than done, you know, take it cheerfully. You know, hey, maybe you didn't get that job you wanted. You know, maybe you didn't get that girl you wanted. Or maybe you didn't get the car you wanted. Or, you know, maybe this situation didn't end up how you wanted it to go. Or it didn't end up how you planned for it to go. You know, whatsoever is brought upon you, take it cheerfully. You know, take it cheerfully. That's something I got to work on. Speaking to myself first and foremost. You know, the flesh automatically makes you think the worst and feel the worst. You know, doesn't give you a chance to actually to take it cheerfully. But, hey, we got to be stronger than the flesh. You know. Got to be stronger than the flesh. "Whatsoever comes upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou change to a lower state." Now, why? "For gold is tried in fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." For gold to reach its highest point, its purification, you know, its highest quality, it has to go through fire. Just like with us, you know, for us to reach our highest quality, you know, we got to go through fire, which that fire could represent the adversities that we go through in this walk of ours. And this truth of ours. You know, these things is what builds us up, man. It's what builds our faith up. It's like a spiritual gym. And the Lord is strengthening our spiritual muscles, or where areas need to be critiqued at. You know, where areas need to be strengthened at. Verse 6, "Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall." So, hey, you know, wait on the Lord, trust in the Lord. Really, I wanted that 1 through 4, or 1 through 5. Now, hey, the Spirit, the Spirit gonna do how the Spirit do. But once again, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. You're gonna go through it in this truth. You're gonna suffer in this truth. Things are gonna happen in this truth. And hey, I may sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. That's the truth. You're gonna go through it. The men before us went through it. Yahushua went through it. I was on the phone with a brother, and we was chopping it up. I said, hey, we're in the flesh. Yahushua was praying to the Heavenly Father that this cup be taken from him. He was crying blood. He won that cross, and he did what he did for the nation of Israel, and he suffered. When you read, I believe it's Hebrews. I believe it's Hebrews 2:10. I could be wrong, though. 12:2. It says, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. So Yahushua went through it. But what Yahushua did, he endured it. Just like the trials and tribulations that we're going through, hey, we got to endure them. We got to keep fighting. We got to keep pushing. Because, hey, look at Yahushua. Yahushua sitting on the right hand of the Heavenly Father now. Hey, the servant's not greater than the master. Yahushua went through it. Hey, we're going to have to go through it. But I want to grab this real quick. James chapter 5, verse 10. It says, take my brothers, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and patience. Look at the men before us. They went through things. They suffered things. Take them as an example. Verse 11, behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful. The Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. You see what Job went through. Job's wife told him, curse the Most High and die. The Lord took everything from Job. That was a council in the heavens between the Lord and Satan. Just like brothers like to say, imagine yourself. Put your name in there. Have thou considered my servant Why? Hast thou considered my servant Kabar? My servant Ira? I'll put your name in there, man. Because once again, we called into this truth to suffer. You're going to go through things. You're going to. That's just what it is, man. You're going to go through things, but also, hey, the stuff that we're going through right now is nothing compared to what the Lord is going to give to us, man. You seen the end of Job. The Lord blessed Job with even more substance. It's the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 18. It says, for I reckon the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Yeah, we catching hell. Yeah, we're going through things. Yeah, things may not be going the way that you like or the way that you would expected it to go or have expected it to go. But hey, the things that we're going through right now is nothing compared to the glory that's going to be revealed in us. The things that we're going through right now is going to be nothing compared to the things that the Lord is going to give to us, man. Suffering is part of this walk, man. Just got to accept it. Take it cheerfully. It's easier said than done, but take it cheerfully. Cleave unto the Lord, call upon his name. Pray. Suffering is part of this walk. It's part of this truth. But hey, the stuff that we're going through right now, don't let it hold you down. Don't let it weigh you down, man. Keep trucking. Got to keep pushing. Got to endure. Yahushua endured. The men before us endured. Hey, we got to endure. Lord, that's one's edifying. Want to give